New guidance issued by the National Police Chiefs Council says that women can be strip searched by transgender police officers who were born as men and could be accused of causing a hate incident if they refuse. There you go, ladies, and you thought the police were all on your side against us nasty men. Well, it never takes long for the police's true colours to come through now, does it? The guidance suggests that from a moment a police constable transitions, they should be, from that point, considered the gender they present themselves as. I wonder whether cross-dressers are afforded the same privilege of touching up a member of the public, or even if the constable's bisexual or non-binary, among the countless other perceived identities that are made up. The guidance goes on to say that they will be able to search people of the same gender that they identify as, and that while it could be advisable to replace them for the search if a detainee objects, such a refusal should be viewed as a hate incident if motivated by discriminatory views. The National Police Chiefs Council's guidance goes on to say that chief officers are advised to recognise the status of transgender colleagues from the moment they transition, considered to be the point at which they present in the gender with which they identify. Thus, once a transgender colleague has transitioned, they will search persons of the same gender as their own lived gender. And after stating a transgender police officer could be taken out of a search if a person objected, the advice says, if the refusal is based on discriminatory views, consideration should be given for the incident to be recorded as a non-crime hate incident, unless the circumstances amount to a recordable crime. Now, is this simply a way of increasing their hate crime numbers? Don't get me wrong, I think will affect women more than men, but to create a hate crime out of not wanting someone who is biologically a male searching you, potentially strip searching you, is not a hate crime. Retired police officer Kathy Larkman, who says the guidance was released to her by the National Police Chief Council, described herself as gobsmacked. I wonder why they're divulging the information to retired police. Surely this is something that actual police should be receiving in their memos. Kathy Larkman said, women are not even an afterthought in this guidance. They are completely non-existent. Everything is geared towards the sensitivities of the officer doing the searching. They claim they are trying to be inclusive, but this isn't inclusive of women and it doesn't respect their sex. A spokesman for the National Police Chief Council said all searches are dealt with on a case-by-case basis after consideration by a custody sergeant based on a response of the detainee. All searches are carried out in line with the officer or staff members' training and legal authority, taking into account our responsibilities under both the Equalities Act 2010 and Police and Criminal Evidence Act 1984. But the problem is this isn't going to stop police using this as a tool to threaten detainees who are against being searched by someone who is biologically a male, even if they appear to be something else. Like I said, what about cross-dressers? These people can consider themselves to identify as a woman at certain times. No woman or man is going to allow themselves to be searched by a pantomime dame, are they? So, I know I only have 9.1% of all subscribers and viewers who are female, but I would really like to hear your views on this. Would you, if you were arrested, allow yourself to be searched by an alleged woman who you knew to be a biological male, with veiny arms, under threat of arrest for a hate crime? I can't see how this could possibly be seen as a hate crime. I mean, if you were on a night out and someone didn't tell you that they have a willy or they've strapped their threepenny bits down, depending on what gender you are, then there would be a huge problem, because we make choices over who we let touch us based on what we know. This isn't me being transphobic, this is simply me saying that we as people make choices. Those choices we make are based on information we receive, and if that information we receive is contrary to what we believe or against what we want, then we're free to choose not to do or not to have something done to us. And for the police to force this upon us, making it a hate crime if we choose not to be searched by someone who is not biologically the same sex as us, goes against our freedom of choices. In fact, I found an article online, I don't know, to be honest, whether this is a legitimate article or not, from a website called thepremierdaily.com. about an Australian man in 2019 who called into a radio station to talk about how he had recently broken up with his girlfriend of 9 months because he found out that she was born a man, which brought up the debate of the thin line between transphobia and preferences. The 20-year-old from Sydney, Australia, called in a radio station to talk about his breakup. He said he was the one who called it off because his 25-year-old girlfriend had been lying to him that she didn't disclose to him that she was born a male. The pair had been intimate for the 9 months of their relationship, and Alex hadn't suspected anything. By all accounts, the relationship was going well, and then one night he was out with a mutual friend and of his girlfriend's. After leaving the bar, Alex went back to his friend's place, who was a bit pissed, and that's when his friend apparently told him that she used to be a fella. Now the article goes on to ask the question, should trans people have to be upfront about their birth gender? Now, although being searched isn't a sexual relationship, the search could be of an intimate nature, again leading to the fact that we have choices, and we should have choices, whether we're arrested or not. Yes, when we're arrested, some of our choices are taken away from us. That is the nature of potentially committing a crime. But one thing that shouldn't be taken away from us is the choice whether to be touched by somebody of the opposite sex and biological sex. Let's face it, if a member of the public touched another member of the public, as we've seen all too often recently, without that person's consent, they're going to find themselves in court. So why it should be any different for the police, I do not know. But again, I want to know your opinions on this matter. So hit me up in the comments below and let me know what you think, especially the ladies that are watching. Big thank you to channel supporters, especially these guys. Your support is truly appreciated. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, as I know many of you will. And until next time, stay safe, look after each other, film the police and other officials.